Buongiorno. I am Francesca Elisabetta Owens. I am a Bronx-born New Yorker who has dual citizenship with Italy and the EU, and obviously with the United States. I have had the opportunity to live full-time in a very tiny hilltop village in Italy, in Umbria. And I'm transitioning between Umbria and Colorado. My oldest daughter had a baby and I'm now a nonna, and so she's asked me to spend more time in the States. And I've decided that so many women in this last phase of our life, I'm 60, really want something more out of life. And so I am a certified travel coach, and I am the ambassador for Italia with the Travel Coach Network. And I'm fluently dangerous at speaking Italian. Read it a little bit, but I'm not going to read any big documents. And I comprehend it when they speak. I'm very fluent that way. Conversational fluent is what they call it. And I have tons of friends in the village. And so now what I want to do is I want to tell you a little bit about this, this new adventure that I've created. It's called Il dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. Il dolce far niente 10-night cultural experience in Spoleto, Italy. And I call it 10-night because you get 10 hotel nights. You would obviously, when you go from the United States to Europe, usually takes about 24 hours because you lose time going to Europe and you sleep on the plane the first night. But I don't include that in the package because you're sleeping on the plane. So in reality, this 10-night cultural experience should be compared to products that are 12-day experiences or trips. Because the other thing they do is when you wake up on the last morning of the 10 nights, you have to check out of the hotel or do whatever you're going to do. Many of these tour packages actually count the day you check out as another day. So my 10-night cultural experience is equivalent to a 12-day tour. So I'm going to tell you, it's a very unusual way that I've structured the products. I am a certified travel coach with the Travel Coach Network, and I am the first and currently the only ambassador to Italy through the network, although I'm sure there will be more Italian ambassadors later. I have lived in my village 15 years full-time and traveled the world 15 years prior in extensive trips up to typically 2 months to 4 months when I do my backpacking trips. So I've been to numerous countries, and while living in Italy, I did a lot of puddle jumping to Barcelona, to France, Germany, Istanbul, which is Istanbul is the country. No, I get that mixed up. Morocco, Gibraltar, been to all of them. So what I'm going to do, ladies, is I'm going to read off the itinerary, and if I can figure out a way how to put up images in the comments area, then I'll put the written itinerary there. Okay, thank you. So let's go ahead and get started. Il dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing, signature sample itinerary. 10-night cultural experience in Spoleto, Italy. There are 2 time periods that I have, May 3rd through the 13th of 2023. May 3rd through the 13th, 2023. Your first night of sleeping would be on the 3rd. Or there's a second one that is May 24th through June 3rd, 2023. Only 7 women will be invited on this trip. And it's different because it's not a package. It's not a tour. You have to pay me a flat cultural coaching fee, cultural fee for having set it up, designed it, and then I coach you for 6 to 8 weeks prior to leaving on a lot of the customs and things that maybe are specific to you in a private coaching group on Facebook. And then I help you, assist you with finding a driver to pick you up at the airport. And, you know, if you ladies come in together, then maybe we can group your pickup together if you come in early or whatever. And then we have 6-day trips that we will be taking during that 10-night cultural experience, 6-day trips with a driver that you would have to pay him directly. I've kind of negotiated everything with all of them, but you have to go, and once you pay my coaching fee, then in the group, I work with you even sooner, actually, to release the things, because then you've got to make a payment to the driver, you got to make a payment to the hotel, and things like that. So it's a very unusual experience, but the demand in my private group, Travel from the Inside Out, this concept of how it was designed was with the feedback of the 700 women in my group. These are women that did not want to go on traditional tours, huge tours. They didn't want to have to wake up at the crack of dawn, keep moving. They didn't have enough time in the cities they saw. It was more of a sightseeing tour is what they saw with the things they were doing. But some women want a more intimate experience. And since I know the locals, I'll be setting a lot of things up. For example, I'll be setting up reservations at restaurants for the 10 dinners. And then you pay a la carte based on your consumption. When we do the 6-day trips, the first day trip, it's on me, and I'm bringing an entire picnic for us to have, and it's another orientation discussion. Plus, the day you arrive in the village, we will have an orientation walk that I introduce you to the different businesses and things like that. But I'll read it here, and then we have day trips, and a fantastic restaurant will be reserved for anyone who wants to, on these day trips, go and eat at this restaurant, which would kind of be crazy not just to eat at the restaurant, because I chose some really good places. And so I made the reservations for you, for all of us, and I will be there in Spoleto. Now, I'm not going to be available 24 hours a day. It doesn't work that way, but I will give you 2 full information coaching days in the village, plus you get 6 to 8 weeks prior. And then the adventure starts. And you have a lot of autonomy? Okay. So what we've got here is on either of these days, you would depart your country, the United States, on a Tuesday, your hometown, sleep on the plane, and arrive at FCO Fiumicino Aeroporto in Rome the following morning. We will have in advance, I will assist you with you getting a driver to pick you up. The driver for one woman is about $250. If you do it directly at the airport, you might get charged like 400 euros instead of $250. But if I can group a couple of women on the same morning to get in the vehicle, he will make the price a little bit higher than the $250 because he's got to wait longer, collect more people, and then we can divide the price up. So Wednesday, you arrive in Spoleto, transport to Spoleto. Those arriving as group can utilize the driver for pickup at Fiumicino Aeroporto, and it's an additional expense. That particular day, lunch is on your own. You will be brought right to the hotel. It is a 4-star hotel, and all of the pricing that I have here is based on single occupancy. There is not even a choice of double occupancy. This is a lovely, lovely, beautiful little hotel. The rooms are not big, and I don't want any problems with anybody, so everybody gets their own room. Nobody has a shared bathroom, okay? And there's air conditioning screens, and they're lovely rooms, lovely, and a full breakfast is included. So you'll be dropped off at your hotel, which you'd all be staying at the same hotel, right dead center in Spoleto. Not this nonsense that you're outside and you need public transportation to get in. There will be none of that. And lunch will be on your own that day. And then late that afternoon, I will do a walking orientation to my village. I will bring you to the tourist office, the ATM, have you practice taking a financial distribution, a withdrawal from the ATM, bring you to the pharmacy, introduce you to our pharmacist so that if you had any concerns or medical issues, you'll see that it's not as intimidating as it needs to be. I'll point out where the local museums are, the popular cafes. I'll point out options for lunches and historical points of interest that later in the week when you have free days, because you will have free days like every other day, you can go back to any of these locations. At the end of this walking event, we will go to the grocery store and the dry goods store. And I'm going to encourage you on that very first day you arrive to pick up some pear juice, some prunes, maybe some yogurts, some dry things and not dry things. That's kind of an old-fashioned term. And you then stock your mini fridge in your hotel room so that if you wake up in the middle of the night, because it's a small village, you're not going to find places open with food if it's late at night. It's not a huge city. And I will be explaining when the city normally shuts down for siesta, when it opens, and some of the rules of the culture so that you understand how to fit in and go, why is it all closed? Why isn't there anybody here? I will also then make a 7:30 dinner reservation where we will all meet that night. And then Thursday, the next day, is the first excursion. We will go to Monteluco for a picnic lunch. I'm going to let everybody sleep late, and it'll probably be around a noon type of pickup day that the driver will come, pick us up noon, 12:30. I will have done the grocery shopping. I will carry the food in the bags with the plates, the tablecloth, and he will drop us off at Monteluco, which is where St. Francis's Sacred Garden is and his original monastery. Very special sacred place. And we'll do a little walk in the woods there, and I'll do some explaining. And there's the caves that him and his followers lived in. And then again, the driver will come back, grab us, bring us back to the village. 7:30 will be dinner. Okay, Friday, excursion number 2, Orvieto Hilltop. We will depart the hotel around 8:30 in the morning, arriving in Orvieto around 10 a.m. I will have booked us for 2 tours, the underground tour and the Ponzo di San Patrizio, which is a different thing that's underground, both very exceptional experiences, probably about $10 each for those events. I will reserve us lunch at a chef's restaurant, and you on this event, this experience, you pay what you consume. Other than breakfast and my 1 complimentary picnic, you are paying for all your food on your own. If you're just drinking water or soda, or you're buying a little half litro di vino di casa, house wine, versus somebody comes in and wants Brunello, $27 a glass, whatever you individually consume, you are paying. I get no kickbacks on that. And I have no control over the menu. So if you have these really crazy diet limitations, I can't help you with that. Some of the restaurants have magnificent vegetarian plates. They'll all have something that's kind of vegetarian to help you. But if you want kosher, ain't going to happen. This is a Catholic country. But the food is exceptional. And in that village, there's also great shopping opportunities. And then we will end up wrapping up and heading back to Spoleto. You can take your naps in the afternoon if you need to rest an hour or 2. I sometimes recommend it. And then you can get up at 7:30 and we go out to dinner. Saturday is a free day in Spoleto, which means other than you waking up for breakfast, you do what you want all day long. And the only time we meet is at 7:30 at a dinner reservation that I have made. I will be making suggestions for what I call verified restaurants and places that I recommend you eat for having the best quality foodie experience. After living in the village 15 years, I have my own opinions of where I give a restaurant 1-2 strikes over the 15 years, maybe 3 strikes, but then I go, no, I'm not going there again, because why should I go there when I know where the really, really good restaurants are? Okay, so then on Sunday, sorry, I just noticed my glasses are dirty, ladies. And you'll find that I'm very transparent, very real, no filters. I curse. I'm a New Yorker. I'm honest. We resolve conflicts. I am not a game kind of person or a highly emotionally fragile, crystal, snowflake kind of person. I'm just authentic, real, and present. I am disabled, had multiple heart surgeries, and a stroke that has blinded my left eye. So I'm a no-nonsense kind of person. All right, so on Sunday, we're going to have an excursion to Calcutta. We depart the hotel around 9 a.m. and get there around 11:30. Most of these road trips, other than Monteluco, which is 30 minutes, most of them run an hour and 15 to an hour and 45 minutes to arrive at our destination. We will typically get, from the minute we step off the bus at the first location till we get on the bus to go home, we'll get 4 to 5 hours, on the ground time. 4.5 hours is realistic, of which lunch will be reserved. So you don't have to waste your time trying to figure out where am I going to eat. Everywhere's booked. Making all the decisions have been made. You then pay for your consumption. So Calcutta is It's been in the New York Times multiple times. It's a village nobody goes to. It's a hilltop village that's one of the two what's considered dead villages. It's an artist village. And we're going on Sunday because the artists usually close the village down Monday through Friday. Excuse me, I burp all the time. And they open up on Saturday and Sunday, and all the restaurants come alive. And like these two, this simple, these were like $5 each, little jewelry things that the artists were making. And I just love their stuff, so I buy it. It's ridiculous. And then that day, besides having lunch at what's considered a 0-kilometer restaurant or 2-kilometer restaurant, what that means, it's Italy's version of farm to table. So if the restaurant declares it's a 0, 1, or 2 kilometer, it tries to get its cheeses, its yogurts, its vegetables from 2 kilometers of where it is, which means the food is extremely fresh, homemade pasta. Then, besides walking around, great photography opportunities. In the afternoon, we go to the Sala di Tè, which is the room of tea. And they have got coffee too, different coffee drinks, but they have over 100 different teas, and you will have an exquisite dessert of some choice that you want. Then when the day, that's a kind of a shorter day, when that day is over, we then get back on the Pulmino, which is a minivan bus, professional licensed driver that his business is with all of the hotels in the Umbria area. And 7:30, we will have a reservation at a restaurant back in Spoleto. Now, okay, Monday, we're doing an excursion to Cortona. And I lived in Cortona for 4 months in 2006. And Cortona is the city of the Francis Mays movie and book Under the Tuscan Sun. Beautiful, beautiful little city. Again, we'll leave roughly about 8:30. We arrive Cortona 10:30. We're first going to do an outdoor tomb and burial chamber tour. It's not a tour by anybody professional. We're just going to go there. We arrive, we use the bathrooms, and we walk around on this outdoor excavated tomb that they found there that goes back to prior to the Romans. My interest is Etruscans, which are prior to the Romans. And Etruscans tend to have a little bit more of a Greek style. And since I'm a professional artist and I look at designs from history, I am far more attracted to the Etruscan arts and the Etruscan style of images than I am the Romans. So we'll do that outdoor tomb and chamber walk. Then we'll come up and have lunch, assuming the weather permits, outdoor on the terrazza, that was filmed for one segment of Under the Tuscan Sun. And we're going to eat on that terrazza, and that's a fantastic restaurant. If the weather is really, really bad, then they have to move us inside. And there's good shopping opportunities in that village. Then we come back and have dinner in Spoleto. Then the next day, which is Tuesday, is a free day in Spoleto, which means, again, you wake up for breakfast, which ends at 10 o'clock at your hotel. If for some reason you want to sleep late, then you just make sure that you've got yogurts and some croissants that they'll let you have left over from the day prior. Bring them down into your room. Sleep as late as you want. Put a do not disturb on your door so that the house cleaner doesn't bother you. And usually, if you wake up after 10, there's a chance I'll work with Massimo and ask him that if the ladies come up and ask for a cappuccino after 10, that he'll go ahead and give it to you. And if there were any leftover croissants, even though the breakfast hour is stopped, you can take a croissant out of the thing for a munchie. Wednesday is excursion number 5, Montepulciano. We depart around 9, arrive in Montepulciano 11:15, and again, we'll start up at the top and start our walk down. There happens to be an Etruscan wine cellar that I really prefer you not partaking in the drinking, but we'll sneak in and go, and I'll show you what I want to show you. Then we'll pop back out and we'll start going all the way down the hill. The truth is, you can do whatever you want on these days. If I'm physically not feeling well, I'll park myself at a cafe and be available by telephone for you guys. But as long as I'm having a good feeling day, which is many days I do, and I know how to manage my health issues, then I will accompany you like a pastrella, which means a shepherdess, a female shepherd over her sheep. But you're free to do what you want. And when we get down further, if I'm able to do this, I may have to separate from you, try to get down there earlier. There is a balcony terrazza of a very fancy restaurant coffee shop that there's limited seats on these 2 balconies. 99.9% of the people don't even know they have this. But you can sneak through the restaurant and then you wait for when there's seats. I'd need to have the ladies with me. And then I'd say, okay, 3 of you can sit here, 4 of you can sit there. Maybe we get lucky and we get the whole row. And you, if you want, you get coffee and breakfast cookies, another cappuccino, a tea. Know that the cookies are pretty darn expensive. The cappuccinos, I forget if they're $3.50 or $4. They're kind of like more American prices than a normal cappuccino in the country. And you have this beautiful view and we just sit and take in the view. Now, that's not your thing. You don't need to do that. You come back in and you keep heading down. We just have to make sure that everybody understands where we're going to meet. They're further down, right before you exit the tunnel, the gate, historical gate. On the right, there's another hidden Etruscan indoor underground tombs there. When you come in, it looks like it's all wine and cheese and bruschetta, and they're trying to solicit you to buy these things, and it's so tempting and give you samples. But I would try to flock you guys. That's why I'm calling myself the Pastorella. I would try to get us to where I know the entrance is to go underground, and then we walk and we look at this most amazing underground tunnels. And then we come back up and we continue to hit going down the city, of which there's many shops in here. So you get to do what you want. You don't have, these are just suggestions. You're not obligated. You're on your own. You might find a lady in the group you like and the 2 of you pair off. Who knows? But then we are going to walk out that last final gate, and I will arrange with the driver to grab us and drive us back up to the top so that we all can have lunch together in that restaurant that, assuming again the weather permits, I would book us for us to eat outdoors on the terrazza, which has an overview of the other side of the valley, and the food is beyond fantastic there. These are foodie restaurants that I'm choosing, and again, you pay for what you consume. Okay, now on this day, we have, this is the only night we have dinner not in Spoleto. There is an outdoor sunset dinner at a famous breathtaking chapel up on a hill in Tuscany that is probably the #1 photographed chapel in all of Tuscany put on calendars. Well, I know the owner of that chapel, and he has now opened a restaurant, and you have to go out on dirt roads and meander up on this hill, and it's a hill where there's nowhere. And I can get him to open the gate, and the mini Pullman, which is, it sits 9 people, me, the driver, and 7 women, brings us right up to the front of the restaurant, and we arrive right before and during sunset. And then we watch the sun go down with the most magnificent sunset you can ever imagine. Great photographic opportunity. Again, the food is fantastic. As soon as the sun goes down, we've got to make sure we got to wrap up. It's obvious that we'll be drinking that night with whatever wine you guys order. And then we will be getting back into the vehicle when it's pitch black, and the driver has to bring us down out of this hilltop dirt road initially until it's paved. And it's going to be a long ride home, so I recommend you having a tiny neck pillow in the vehicle. And I also ask that you respect keeping your cell phones off in the vehicle, because I don't want the driver being disturbed by a vehicle full of blue lights at night, because it makes a black flash, you know, when he's driving. So it's just a safety issue that I'm going to ask for. Then the next day is a free day because we get home late. Again, you can get up for breakfast in the hotel or have something in your room. Lunch is on your own. That is Thursday. I'll have a dinner reservation at another restaurant in the village. Friday is excursion number 6. We will be going to Civita Bannoregio. So we will depart around 8:30, arrive in Civita around 10. We'll walk around. There's another Etruscan underground living quarters museum. It's €1 to get in. It's dirt cheap. Most of these places, they're either free or they could cost maybe 10 euros to get in for a ticket. And many of them are free, but you have to pay if you want to do it. And then after we eat lunch and we look at the church that had the miracle and learn a little bit about it, walk around in Civitannoreggio, we will then go to Sacro Bosco, which means a sacred forest, sculpture garden for an afternoon walk. And then we will come back. And again, that Friday evening, we will have reservations at a Spoleto restaurant. Now, Sunday morning is technically checkout. So that is the tour. So let me talk to you about the prices. The Francesca Elisabetta coaching fee, and I will explain more of what that has in it, is $1,275, $1,275. You need to pay with PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle directly to my nonprofit. And once that fee is paid, then you get released to the information where I coach you and assist you. The next thing, and I'll talk about what's in my coaching fee, an accompagnatrice, which means your chaperone fee. But I am not a tour guide, travel agent, seller of travel, destination management company. I'm none of those. I am a travel coach and a dual citizen who has lived in this village 15 years and knows everybody. The village chose me to put on their international TV program as their art critic and expert for the village. I've been featured in the Washington Post and AARP and Trips to Discover. I've been on podcasts, and I run a private group for women 55 and older on Facebook, Travel from the Inside Out, Italy and Europe. So 1,275, you have to pay me first. Second, money would have to be wired or sent to the professional business account of the driver. He wants 660 euros for those 6-day excursions. You will be paying him directly. Now, if for some reason before the trip happens or when the trip happens that the petrol gets up over 1.75 euros a liter, so less than $2 a liter, €1.75 per liter, there could be a surcharge on that 660. The price of the 660 is quoted on the current price of petroleum, but you know, we have a war going on, and if the price went up, then that 660 could go up and you could just pay him the difference upon arriving. The hotel has currently 4 standard rooms on hold and 3 superior rooms on hold. If for the 10 nights with the city tax, it's 1,320 euros for the standard room, or 1,620 euros for the superior room. But there's only currently 3 superior rooms available and 4 standard rooms. Breakfast is included. It's in historical center. It is a great location, and I personally know the manager of the hotel. Okay, you're going to be paying for all your food as you consume it in place. It will be in euros. Realistically, I think you could do 65 euros a day for lunch and dinner. Now, if you wanted to get a mid-morning snack or a mid-morning cafe or a pizza, or you want to do an aperitivo with wine afternoon, that would be more. But again, the food is so much cheaper in Italy, in my village, than it is here in Colorado, from what I see. So I'm saying that I think you'd be about 65 euros a day for food. But that's also because I'm making the recommendations of where you're going. There are other restaurants that are way more expensive with fantastic food, but I'm finding great valued food at exquisitely tasting restaurants, foodie. So that's part of the reason why you're getting that. I guess there could be about 130 euros in optional tour fees. So, you know, to go into some of the Etruscan places, they might charge about 10, 12, 15. They might charge you 5. And these are all optional things. Okay, so complimentary, very lovely breakfast is provided at the hotel from 5 to 10 a.m. each morning. All food and drinks are the responsibility of each traveler and will cost varied based on the individual order and consumption. Realistically, I think lunch and dinner could be 65 euros a day, although if you're buying really high-level wines, it could be more. If you're doing the aperitivo, and then you're doing the primo piatto, which is like pasta, then you do the secondo piatto, which is some kind of fancy meat or seafood, and then you come in with contorni, which is vegetables, and then you come in with the dessert, and then you come in with 3 glasses of Brunello wine. That's not going to be, that's going to be more money, but I can't eat that kind of thing. Okay, let's talk about the difficulty. The difficulty of this experience physically is a 3 out of 5. Significant walking. These day hilltop excursions could be 9 hours. For the most part, they'll be 7 hours, but it could be a 9-hour day, and you've got to handle the ride out, moving around, and the ride back. There's uneven cobblestones. There's no handicap accessibility. It's rare you're going to find handicapped toilets. There's tons of slopes and hills. There's not handrails. If it's raining, the cobblestones are slippery. So it is a 3 out of 4, and you are fully responsible for your own physical health and well-being. So you need to be honest, you know, with whether you can do this or not. Travel insurance is not included, but strongly suggested, and I have entities I can refer you to for medical travel insurance, so that if something happens medically, you at least get the bills covered. Transportation to and from Rome Airport is not included, but I can assist you with that. If you want to arrive days earlier, just to get over jet lag, and you can either stay at this hotel, or I can make recommendations for another hotel that's very close should this one be booked. Let's say you want to stay 1 month, but you're kind of afraid, you know, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months. This is the launching point for you. You show up, you do the 10-day excursion, the experience, and you've got training wheels on your bike. You can buy the airline ticket for a longer period of time, and then you can just say, well, I just want to stay in that village, or no, I would like to do other villages, and you can make the airline ticket with changes. And again, the airline ticket is not included in this. You have to do that, but part of this whole coaching is I can assist you with what you can do. Okay, a 6-week small private coaching group will be created, and once your payment is made, you'll be invited into this group, and there'll be a max of up to 14 women. I've got 2 different sets of these experiences. If by some fluke they got booked really fast, because I'm brand new at doing this, not new at living this life, but new at trying to do this experience, I might throw in a 3rd one, which means the group could go up to 21 women, but let's just see that we even fill each of the first 2 groups. An indication of interest questionnaire is being prepared and will be available shortly, along with the payment schedule of deadlines. Women who are in my group from the beginning, because I've been coaching since Halloween, October 31st, who have supported me from the beginning of my group, will be giving preferential treatment to book these spots first. And then women that are just finding me on YouTube, or finding me through some news media outlet, or finding me through some other Facebook group that brought you to this, then the invite will be extended. This is about there is an about the experience and about me page being prepared. I don't have it yet. Oops, and that's it for what I'm reading off of there. So, that's about it. I will put down below in the area, if you're interested, I will give you an email link that you can email me. Since all of this is so new, and I am the age of the women, I don't have a website yet. I'm in the process of getting the website constructed, so I can't send you to a website. You've got my YouTube channel. You have several Facebook pages. There is a Facebook group, but I'm very much a stickler on who I let into the Facebook group. I screen the women because I don't want voyeurs in there. There's very intimate conversations and discussions and vulnerability that we mature women have, and I want it to be a very safe place for the mature woman, and not this nonsense that it's the cancel culture and we have to be subjected to all the nonsense that's going on in today's society. So I hope this was helpful, ladies. Bye. Got this clicker that doesn't always work.